Welcome to another Rooster Talk. Today we've got Andrew Radonjic here from Venture Minerals going to give us an update on the latest announcement on the Golden Grove North drilling results. Andrew, fire away.
Oh, thanks, Noel. Good to be here again. This morning we put out our first assays to come from Golden Grove North at our Orcus prospect, and we've got immediate success with getting higher grade, particularly zinc results. So certainly the system's fertile in terms of VMS style mineralisation, so the system's confirmed, so that's a great tick in the box. And we've got some pretty nice grades. So for us it's a great start, and we can build from that. With the grades there, for us it's more of a matter of getting thicker intersections, and certainly from the EM work we've completed now, we can see that EM plates along strike are even stronger. So we're hoping for stronger and thicker zones of those sort of grades in the very, very near future.
In terms of an exploration process, you want to call it, from my point of view, I think I looked at the results. I think it's really indicative of what we had discussed earlier about how prospective Golden Grove North is and what you're looking for, that the whole VMS sort of structure. Can you just sort of tell us the significance of this? Obviously, sometimes these grades can be sort of misleading in terms of whether you got discovery or not, and what's the positive you see in the assay results that you've got?
Well, certainly the first thing we saw is that we've got all the elements, including some of the sort of, if you like, the pathfinder elements, your cobalt and your tin. So clearly we've got a VMS system, we've got up to 0.5% lead, and even though the intersections are modest in thickness, when you calculate that there's a metre there going in excess of 10% zinc equivalent, and the zinc equivalent grade for the entire Gossan Hill deposit is 10%. So we're already in the ballpark, we're in the range. Obviously it's a question of tonnages. That's a great result for us as far as we're concerned. We've got down dip extent, we've got an EM plate which is, goes down 600 metres. We've looked at the top 150. It's like sitting here, got a small data points here, and you could be next to a big ore body nearby. Quite conceptually see that, and you can see that even going back on looked at the longitudinal sections for the Scuddles deposit. You could easily put this intersection right on the edge of that deposit. So for us it's hugely significant, and it gives us the encouragement to go back with a drill rig and fire a lot more holes into the system and start closing up some of these gaps, massive gaps. We've got 1 kilometre to the north where there's no drilling. That's to think of that, I could fit a couple of deposits in there easily, and then also to the south. We're waiting the results from the drilling of holes 4, 5 and 6 to the south, but there's still 300 metres there. So we're going to start infilling that area down to maybe 100 or 50 metre spacing. So you've got a great known point, and we can extrapolate from there. So I think shareholders and investors should look forward to us generating a lot of news flow, and now we've got our eye in, if you like, a little bit about what we can see, and we just need a few more data points to head us towards that sort of discovery intersection that announces a discovery. And to go back to the Scuddles story, it certainly wasn't the first hole that they got, and it was several holes before they actually got onto it, and that's sort of to see where Golden Grove is today after making discovery 50 years before that. I'm not hoping it's going to take 50 years, but having said that, they made 13 discoveries. So but to make that discovery, to get that in the first hole, we've got to be super lucky. But I think we've got the geology, we've got mineralisation, and now we've got grade. So it's just a matter of getting more volume to that grade, and once that happens, then the discovery will be announced. So had I got 5 metres at 25% zinc, okay, no brainer, but still you need the volume. Having said all that,
of late I've been talking about how investors should actually look at things of substance. I think this is quite an interesting exploration play that's getting played out in sense of identifying, going there, doing the drilling, and executing the concept, and then now slowly getting the results that are coming back. And people forget that all discoveries is not sort of the first drilling program. Very, very rare do you find a first drilling program achieving that kind of things. It's about eliminating the negatives and enhancing on the positives. And when you look at your figure one in your announcement, you're in that zone, and we've talked about this in our previous chats.
Yes.
That you're in VMS territory, which is the key. And now you're getting VMS type results, which is the next step. As you said, if it was 25 meters at your grades that you've announced today, then you're very much talking about discovery, or 30 meters at the grades. But at least you've got the right smoke, is the way I feel. What I'm really keen is in the exploration side of things, in your process forward, in your figure 2 that you talked about, you talk about those plates. Maybe give us a good sort of rundown about what you're trying to show in that figure.
Well, certainly in that figure, you tend to get in these VMS systems several deposits, not just one. And certainly, the EM certainly highlights there's a number of features along that trend which are worthy investigation. To put those initial drill holes in there. So that's all we'll be, getting on the ground, as well as sort of stepping out from the first 3 holes, the first line of drilling, is that we'll be testing those other targets and doing surface geochemistry to try and guide us where are the best areas to drill. So having a number of targets ticks the box in terms of that sort of VMS type of system, and really it's trying to get, like I said, to get onto those zones as quickly as possible, and I think that those EM plates are all indicating that they're of a strength. The conductivity strengths are delineating sulfides. The question for us are those sulfides. The deeper they are, the response is not going to be as strong, and it could be still massive sulfide 600 metres down, giving us a response which we won't really know until we do the downhole EM how good it is. But we could be seeing the top of a very extensive sort of system. So I think it's super encouraging. From like you said in figure 1, from being concept, reality, we're building the body to it. We're now starting to put an arm on it, leg, and then all of a sudden it's going to start turning real. Could turn real quite quickly. And once the drill rigs fire up there and start generating more results, that's what we hope to achieve. So it's a little bit about working from a known point, testing new targets, and we've got plenty of those new targets there, from those conductors, and that's at the end of the day we could be, who knows, chasing 2 or 3 different zones of mineralisation, which is quite possible because we've got 5 kilometres to deal with. So very early days, we've taken a lot of the geological risk out of this already, and had we got 0.7% zinc instead of 7% zinc, then different case. But now we've got you can see from the chips there, and there's a picture just in the background there. That is clearly got chalcopyrite and sphalerite in it, and it's got a gram of gold, and it's got over half an ounce of silver. And you add all that up, and that's a few $100 per tonne value US. So that's more significant than getting a couple of percent nickel and 1% copper. That's sort of 4 times that actually. So that's sort of what people need to think about, is that you've got precious and base metal combination is in terms of value per tonne is superior.
Yeah, I think the key here is that you have that 5 kilometres of strike in sort of VMS territory. You've got the your geophysical signatures, and now you've got geochemical signatures. I think the impending sort of future in terms of where you go is a lot more upright than, say, if you had lesser signatures in a sense. And 5 kilometres is a long way. It's a big thing. You know, 5 kilometres on a piece of paper, you might think, oh yeah. But when you're standing in the ground and you look around, 5 kilometres it's a long way. And considering a mine is a fraction of that size.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and people, when you look at your sections that you've done, you know, we're not even talking about plunge here now. So where you nipped, and people might say it's only 2 metres, but that could be the tip of the iceberg. The plunge could be that you haven't tested, right? And so, and these systems can be 50 metres away or 300 metres away, and then you've got the mother lode in that sense.
Well, exactly. These things can be, you know, they broaden out and they pinch out. We could be in the pinch out point. So, like this, like I said before, it could be a body sitting here. And we just nick the side of it.
Correct. Yeah.
And which would, you know, that's kind of what we're thinking. Yeah. And the sooner we get holes that sort of say, hang on, it's getting better in this direction, then that plunge component you're talking about start working. And generally these things tend to be steep. But you know, look, I don't want to go and say this is. It's every deposit's going to have its own nuances, and it could be a little bit different. But yeah, Golden Grove, great example just down the road. We can learn a lot from that. And you know, for my job is very much around getting as many rigs ready to come on and drill this, because if we get that discovery hole, the hole that sort of announces that we've got something serious, we will be putting a multitude of rigs on this, and we'll be hitting it very, very hard. And we've done that before in Tasmania. We had 7 drill rigs. We drilled 83 kilometres of drilling, and you know, we will do the same. We will be very aggressive in generating lots of results, and we will find a way of getting those rigs. Even though it is busy now, we've got strategies in place to work around that situation. So, yeah, I think next round of drilling going to be super interesting, and if we get better results again, and keep getting better results every time, then immediately to us, as people who have been involved in these discoveries before, you get the feeling. You got the feeling, and you know it's on. When you know it's on, you know that sort of each drill hole's bloody gets better. It gets better, but not worse, and that's an important sign.
Oh look, I think the results you got. Sure, it's not a discovery intercept, but it was definitely you're in the system, and nipping the edge of a deposit is very common. Many big deposits was discovered because they've ended in small mineralization. Bronzewing's a good example.
Yes.
I think Sandfire, Nova, they've become monsters from a small little intercept. I think the key was and I emphasize that, is the grade, right? And the same thing with Nova was the grade was there. It was anomalous in the sense, and consistent with future drilling results. So it's happened to many people, and for me the same thing when we drilled out Ector and got a little snip, and I didn't know what it was, and the guys came and says, you've just drilled through a edge of a pipe, and that turned out to be a pipe. So it happens all the time, and nipping the edge of it is probably is more exciting. Well, it's exciting because it happens more common than people drilling through the centre of a deposit. Right?
And it's about recognising that you're doing that.
You
know, recognise the potential rather than sort of, you know, how can you walk away from this when you've got, you know, one line of drilling? It's you certainly wouldn't, and that's for us as always. Have we got enough there to go back again? And the answer is a big yes. We definitely have, and we're getting the rigs back before Christmas, and they will be drilling, and maybe potentially through Christmas. Because if we can achieve that, we will do that.
I think the issue for you is now that you've actually know that you can't walk away from this project. I think that's more of a headache to you than not finding it. But yeah, so going forward, so what is the news flow? What's the plan? You talked about rigs coming back before Christmas, so going 3 months, 6 months, what's your...
Well certainly, you know, we've engaged, you know, with Terra Drilling, so they're getting some rigs for us. So, and we've spoken to some other companies as well, so trying to look at some timing. But for us, it's you know, to get the next round of drilling over the next you know, 3 months, over that sort of summer months, and drill shallow holes. So what we'd ideally like to do is drill some closer space shallow holes, because you can see that at that first hole on your section there, it's 150 metres. You know where you are in the system. You probably don't need to drill as much dolerite, because that's mappable on the surface. So we just did that to confirm, but you can drill these sort of stab holes in the top of the system, and if you are getting, that very first hole is if you're starting to get those sort of results, then you know what a geology is, and then the diamond rig would come in behind and just drill the deeper holes, do the downhole EM, start getting some better idea, some vectors as to where the massive would be. And if that happens, then I can see a sort of a shallow phase program, a deeper program. The Vulcan West target's very deep, so who knows what that's going to unveil in the first round of drilling. And these deposits will tend to have, they'll have this halo where, if the best part is a small target, and then the halo around it, the narrower grades, narrower zones, then the halo is, you've got to try and zoom in and know where you are in the system, and that's where we're working that out. But certainly seeing that hanging wall position, the higher grade zinc and the copper, that's very much Golden Grove style. It's got all the ingredients. So hopefully, over the next few months we'll get the drilling that will keep going through phases. We have in terms of other projects, there's drilling at Coolin, which we've always been telling the market for some time that we're going to be doing it, and Golden Grove became ready beforehand, so we zipped up there. So we're going to go back to Coolin and drill a couple of holes there, and so there'll be something about that shortly when the rig hits the ground. And be a combination of dueling rigs on different projects, maybe, who knows, fighting for supremacy, and where shall I use my exploration dollar. So that's going to be a nice problem to have, I suppose, to have maybe two interesting targets at once. But look at the gold price has come off a little bit, so maybe the pure gold target's not that attractive at Coolin as it used to be. But Coolin's also a nickel PGE concept, which is what we went originally for. So we still got to play that out there as well. But Golden Grove itself, I can see. The next phase will be several thousands of metres of drilling, and then once that starts delivering, then it'll be tens of thousands of metres. And as I told the diamond driller yesterday, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of metres have been put into Golden Grove, but that's where you're going to end up. And I want to get to that point quite quickly, whilst you captured interest of the market, and that's why. And previous boss said to me before, drilling is cheap. So you drill, and then you can define your deposit, so you can begin mining it as quickly as possible. And we've got a plant just down the road, at Golden Grove. So they've always been expanding that plant. So hopefully something which is, a couple hundred metres or 100 metres within the surface. In this case here, this is still very shallow, versus development a kilometre down. That means you can mine it quicker, and you can maybe they want to look at expanding their plant. It's a good opportunity to to work with the EMR guys down there, and hopefully when we latch onto something that's looks like it's a new mine. So maybe I won't call it a satellite, but maybe another mine. Who knows? Maybe it justifies its own plant. But having a plant just down the road also makes it very attractive for us in terms of getting into cash flow on this project sooner rather than later.
Well, sounds good. I mean, there's many positives. You could be you might get a knock on the door from EMR. You never know, and you may find the father of Golden Grove. That's a possibility.
Absolutely.
But look, Andrew, it's a fantastic story. I think it's good. I'm very happy that we were able to get the journey from the start and continue that journey. And it looks like the next sort of lot of results will be more than interesting, and vectoring this into something much bigger than what is now will be a very exciting story to come.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to giving you talking about better results in the very near future.
Yep. All right, thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Noel.